All right. So welcome back. Today in our brain fuck challenges, we are going to do a small program I like to call the square. Now, if we look at this small example I've created in Python, we can see that it takes in a number and then generates a square of, in this case, 5 pluses by 5 pluses, each one separated by a space from the other. This gives us a really nice shape. So without the spaces, this would be a little lopsided. So that's what we want to do. And I've kind of given us a little cheat sheet here with our ASCII values for a plus sign, a spaces, and a line feed. And we're going to go ahead and start off by taking in an input and then copying that value to the next 3 cells. And then, of course, decrementing it. Now, if we look at the example in Python, you can see that we have a nested for loop. And this is the way that a lot of people would do it. And the reason that I'm showing you this is because we're going to be doing a very similar thing. However, you probably noticed that I've put the value into 3 cells rather than just 2. And the reason for that is something we'll get into very shortly. But for now, don't worry about it. We'll just go ahead and go through and create our first loop. And then go into our second loop. So now we're in these first 2 copied values. And in the second loop, we're going to go ahead and print out our plus sign and our spaces. So you might think that we could just shift over and do this, but remember that we have this third cell here that contains a value. So we actually need to shift over twice before we do this. Then once we're done filling out this cell and printing it, we need to go ahead and clear it. And we can clear it with a square bracket, a minus sign, and then another square bracket. Now we can move backwards and fill in with our space and clear it just like before. And now we're going to move back twice and subtract that new value, because here we are at 4, I believe. Let's fact check that. So we're at 1, 2 is where we need to be, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 2, 3. So we actually need to be at 2, so we can decrement. So that should go ahead and print out our value. Now we need to print out our line break. And we'll do this the same way. So now we're back at cell 1, or 2 really, but I'm calling it cell 1 because we just wiped this first one. So we'll go ahead and go back to 5, or it would actually be 4 of these, wouldn't it? And then clear it out. And we can actually go ahead and go to 3. Okay, yeah, this should be good. So now we're just going to cell 4 and using that because we don't really need it for anything else. Well, that's a lie. We do need it for one more thing, and I'll show you what that is. So remember that we have this third cell, and the reason for that is we need to take that value and put it back into the second one. Now, every time we do this, the reason, first of all, is because the second one is being cleared with this right here. So when we replenish it with the third one, we'll also lose the third one. So now we need to be a little smart here. And how we're going to do this is get back to our third one, which we're at 5, so we'll go down 2. And enter a loop and go forward and then backward. So forward and fill the 4th cell with the value. Then we take the 4th cell and use it to fill the 3rd cell and the 2nd cell. And then, of course, decrement. So now what we've done effectively is copied our value over back to the third and second cell so we may continue the loop. Now that we're at the fourth cell and we're clearing it, we'll go back to cell 2 and wipe it. So now let's give it a try. Will it work right off the bat? Probably not. Ah, yes. So it seems we've gone a little out of range. So let's go ahead and try to see where we went wrong. So I will be right back. All right, we're back. So the problem just was I didn't shift over enough at the end. So we're at block 2 right now. We need to go to block 1, which is really block 2 because of that first input. So we'll go ahead and shift back one more. And now we are back at block 1. It will decrement and this loop will finish. So let's go ahead and try it. And let's go ahead and throw 5 in just like before. Now let's run. And you can see that it works exactly the same. So that is our square program. We'll go over it one more time. So first we take in our input. Then we copy that input to the next 3 cells. We open a loop with the first cell. Then we open a loop with our second cell. We print out the plus sign, clear it, print out the space, clear it, then we decrement, then we print the line feed outside of this loop, then finally we copy the value from 3 over to 4, the value from 4 to 3 and 2, then we decrement our first value. And finally, what we have is a really nice little program that gives us a fun little square. Let's try like something fun, something like 15. Whoa. All right, well, that's all. Thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something, and I definitely did. So I hope to see you in the next one.